pretty fantastic start for Optic there on map 1, taking Inferno 16-4. We now head to their pick as well, so further complications arise. Snods,
yes.
Nuke, what are you thinking?
I like Nuke. It's a good map, obviously. We saw the Danes play it earlier in the tournament. They had the swift loss 16-3 versus Astralis, but Astralis right now are one of the best Nuke teams in the world, a team they really don't want to be dueling them on that map on, so... You know, do we take it with a pinch of salt? I think we can, especially with the fact that they've actually had the confidence to bring it here in the best of 3. They've gone back to the drawing board, probably watched the demo, watched back over their mistakes, realized what went wrong, plug the holes, fix the gap, try and stop the leak, and let's see if they can fix it for Space Soldiers.
Yeah, we need to fix the leak in your mouth, okay? No more potty words this game, Snods, okay? We heard you on Inferno. No more Freudian slips. But yeah, I'm definitely leaning the way of Optic for this one, right? Obviously coming off the back of destroying Space Soldiers, even if they're not confident on Nuke, it's not like Space Soldiers are a team that are known for their Nuke play, right? Space Soldiers really getting wrecked by the veto as well, as we talked about a little bit earlier.
Yeah, the psychology, behind the confidence of bringing out Nuke after, being decimated by Astralis. Do you bring it out? Do you ban Inferno? You're permaban. What would you rather? Play them on Nuke at map which they lost 16-3 on, or play them on Overpass at map you just always ban?
Well, not even just that. Also, Cobblestone Space Soldier's best map getting removed from the map pool literally like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and then the second best map, Cash, being the insta veto for Optic every time because it's ex-heroic players and heroic.
That's the really awkward thing here for Space Soldiers. They couldn't have. I mean, that would have been an instant first pick on Cobblestone, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Instead of
you ban one and you get the other, it's like it's fine.
Exactly.
Space Soldiers still get a comfortable map.
But
instead,
now
they get Inferno, which clearly isn't that comfortable of a map for them today.
It's not indeed. But Nuke, I know. Have you ever cast Space Soldiers as Nuke? I don't think I've ever seen it.
I can't think of a Space Soldier.
I'm trying to think of a demo, a game, a match where we've seen Space Soldiers play this map. So it's going to be very interesting. I feel like it could be a very good map for Paz actually. Obviously playing outside, some of the aggressive warpers get quite nullified by the playstyle of CT side Nuke with the AWP. It's actually quite the opposite of playing aggressive. You're purely playing for information. It's a big mistake some AWPers make when they try to play for kills towards outside. They die, they give up all that control towards secret stairs, towards A main, where the team can be split upon. So I feel like a passive AWPer, smart AWPer like Paz could do some good work outside. The issue is towards the A side, towards ramp. How are they going to deal with those rotations, especially with the stand-in as well?
And as well, Paz was the only player really who actually looked at all good on Inferno. Of course, when you get 4 rounds, it's kind of hard for anyone to step up massively. But we had Nozan Tares, and I mean, no one stepped up. Paz got like 12
kills,
10,
but even then,
not really like a star performance by any means. He opened up a couple of good rounds, but we just didn't really see any close ones to Space Soldiers. There weren't many rounds where I was really thinking, oh, this is theirs. Even when they would get bombs down, as rare as that seemed, Optic were always confident on those retakes. Always just came in, lost maybe 1 player, 2 max, and yeah, it just seems so strong. Definitely a completely different team to we saw on the first day, and they did just knock out an IP. This is a team that we can expect to have success here. Yeah,
that's the thing I said in the prelude before the last map was Space Soldiers coming into this one, a swift 0-2 defeat versus Liquid. Optic, the complete opposite. A very confidence-building win over NIP. That's a big difference coming into this best of 3. Obviously, the winner goes into the top 8 quarterfinals, plays in the stadium, plays in the arena, so there's a lot to play for, a lot of pressure, and for Space Soldiers, they need to get more top 8 finishes.
Especially for Optic, a lot of North American fans, of course, of the organisation. They definitely want to play on the stage in Dallas. I'm sure they'll have a lot of the crowd behind them. Well, maybe not Config. Apparently the North Americans don't really like him, at least his ex-teammates. But we will. We will.
I was trying to work out if there's anything he had done before. Like,
has
he said something about Americans? Has he ever done anything? But
I only got 2 of them kicked. It's fine, But currently, first event.
Capitalistic world, that isn't America.
Yeah,
they want the best results. So
you live and you learn. Upgrade, right? Upgrade,
exactly,
right?
exactly.
And it's clearly an upgrade at this point. It seems we're only 1 event in, and they're already off to a fantastic start. We're going to go straight into Nuke and have a look if they can repeat that success. See if they can bring some more heat here, and as well, starting on the T side, I'm kind of excited for that, I will say.
Yes, obviously, it is their map pick, so Space Soldiers get to choose the side. That's why we see Space Soldiers on the CT side picking that one. Obvious choice there. So, we are into potentially the final map here for Space Soldiers. Can they bounce back on Nuke map? We haven't seen them play too often here in Pro League. But enough of that though. Aggression already. Centaurus, frags everywhere.
It just seems like Inferno. Everyone's dead within 5 seconds. Mate just trying to draw it back from heaven with 1 kill. He's still a man down. Dink even comes through from Cajun, looking like he wants to continue his form from earlier after finding that first kill. And Despe's low as well. Surely Space Soldiers can't win this round, especially with Optic dropping down through vents to B. They don't even commit to the A site with both Space Soldiers players being outside of it. So Optic just throw a complete spanner in the works, and there we go, bomb down. Surely that's the win.
Not only have the out-rotated Space Soldiers in this round, but the HP from Major and Despe. Both minus 89 from the dink from the Glock, but the first frag goes their favor. In the retake, they're still into an equal playing field here. 2 versus 0 now as Snappy lines up both those low HP players. 1-0, Optic Gaming. We did see an 8-4 scoreline, didn't we, on Inferno, and it finished 16-14. Sorry, 16-4. So that means that was 8 rounds, 1 in a row on Inferno, and now it's 9 coming into this one. Optic are carrying forward the momentum from the Fryer map into this one. 1-0 then. Yeah, I mean, what can you say about that one?
And the scary part about this as well is I kind of have a little bit of a fear that Optic are going to run away with like a really strong T side, like 10 rounds or something. And if you get that on Nuke, it's so hard to pull it back, especially when you have Space Soldiers, a team that don't really, you know, aren't versed as a Nuke team. So, yeah, this is already off to a pretty scary start for Space Soldiers with these 2 conversions probably going the way of Optic.
I think as well a point to note was there was a bit of a rumor going around in Prague about how strong Heroic used to be on Nuke. They were touted as one of the best teams on Nuke in the world. And what you have now, this new Optic roster, you got Snappy and Yugi, players from that exact same roster playing on this map now. And can they bring forward that nuance, that caliber of play, that level of Nuke style and play that we saw from Heroic onto this roster? It would make sense bringing over the star AWPer on a map like Nuke, plus the in-game leader as well to bring the brains behind the success. But anyway, 4 versus 3 here. No defuse kit for the CT style as the frags being collected 1 by 1 here for Optic, so great for the AWPer as well, finding $600 per kill with that MAC-10. So we do see the similar affair here for Optic, swift 2-0 advantage.
Yeah, Engine should probably just fall back and save, and I think he's already come onto that in the T-spawn. Major's just got a deagle, so he tries to run away as well, but Yugi, he wants that AWP snods. He wants to bring in the big green gun, and he is going to get the money for it at the very least. $1,800 plus change on that as Major's going to go down and Engine saves his CZ. So another eco coming in for Space Soldiers while Optic continue to rack up the fat stacks of cash here on the T side. And we really can't have any investment here from Space Soldiers. Interestingly enough that Major has 4K. So maybe we'll be seeing him buy that AWP next round, dropping it over.
So 2-0 here for Optic. Going to be the Eco coming out from Space Soldiers. Just Major having enough cash to afford the flash. And what's interesting is Major's the player that saved. So is Major going to be opening over Paz towards outside on Nuke?
I think he could just drop it over, to be honest. Like, it would make some sense.
It's strange to see.
Yeah. The thing is, when you have, like, Calyx and Paz be those 2 AWP players on Space Soldiers, I know Calyx isn't here, but it doesn't really make sense for a different player to pick up the AWP, right? In replacement for Calyx, it just makes sense that, okay, you know, just give Paz the AWP. That surely is the logical decision. We'll see, though, next round. We're not far away from it. Yugi really wants to get to that buy round, so he's going to find a triple quickly down lower B. Let's have a look at the buyer Space Soldiers. They can afford pretty much everything they need here. Major going to go straight for the AWP. Will he drop it? That is the question.
So, are we going to be going into what we expect to see on T-side Nuke? Smokes towards outside, trying to get control towards, you know, Garage under Heaven, get lurks in towards, you know, back of ramp into Heaven. Are they going to walk down secret steps, try to get the frag in towards Vent, towards the long stairs by the double doors, get that B-bomb site? Or conversely, are they going to go for picks towards Hut? It's going to be very interesting to see the game style from a player like Config on this map. Is he going to get aggressive early? And the answer is yes, Hugo.
Of course, classic. Straight onto the A site. Although Engine lines up 2 with the UMP, it's swiftly traded back as Config upgrades to the AK-47, and now the bomb going down on A. No vent drop coming in here for Optic as Space Soldiers. They're just kept out of the site. Cajun has the lobby rotate as well, and Paz has probably got to camp through Heaven if they want to commit to this retake, but Space Soldiers are hard pressed for time. No kit to play with, at least on any of the living players currently. And the flash going over through Heaven to try and pop Paz out. He's going to need some quick kills in quick succession, and there's a good start. Config dead, and Yugi tagged up in the meantime. Paz falls down onto the site and does manage to get his way onto a position near the bomb, but we could just see them delay this. There's not a lot of time left, and they don't have that kit to play with. They're straight on it. Cajun stops it with a second kill coming through, and it's only Major out in the open, but that's it. There's no time left. He's got to run. Cajun won't even give him the satisfaction. Tries to get this Glock frag, swaps back to the AK, and we will go down, but he'll go down in style. 3 kills and 4 rounds for Optic.
My goodness, Cajun's on a tear. 2 versus 3, gets the first in the retake. Plus, as well, the shot through the smoke, just perfect crosshair placement and spam. Thing to note as well, a flash of beauty there through Heaven. Config playing a very exposed angle, but he's playing the off angle, expecting a player to walk out Heaven, you know, pre-aim behind the box, pre-aim behind the vent, you know, sort of boxes by heart. So he played a very good angle, but a very exposed angle versus a flashbang. Went down early. Thankfully, KGB was there to mop up this spilt drink or issues or whatever you want to use that for. But anyway, round number 4 here for the 4-0 start from Optic. As it's going to be the Eco from Space Soldiers. It's going to be Paz investing into Kevlar and Deagle. Apart from that, Pistols, no Kevlar for the Space Soldiers boys as they line up for Snappy. He tries to go for more as well, so it should be a 5-0 start already for Optic on their T side.
Second time he's lined up 2 kills. Pistol round as well. Look at that. He was down on B and they walked across. And I mean, even in the first pistol round in Inferno, Cajun found a double as they both peaked up in coffins. So yeah, Optic are getting a lot of 2-for-1s here. They've clearly got some discounts going on, and Snappy going to find his 3rd of the round. Paz, the last man up, and Optic looking to take this one flawlessly as well. Nothing going well for the CT side. Finally, Paz gets 1, but too little too late. He's dead as well. Optic off to a 5-0 lead here on the T side. We need a round for Space Soldiers, Snods. This is not your average map. This is Nuke, a very CT-sided affair.
They're hoping they're going to wake up from their nightmare and just be witnessing Cobblestone instead.
Yeah,
but
give me cash.
5-0 here for Optic. Pause coming out. Now, it doesn't say it's tactical. You would expect it maybe to be a tactical timeout from Space Soldiers, obviously being 5-0 down, needing this buy round to go in their favor. But it seems like it will be a technical issue. We saw 2 of them on Inferno, so most likely will be that. But quickly sorted out as we are going live into round number 6. Thing to note here as well, Hugo, it is going to be Mage who saved after the Force Buys, after the Ecos, after the pistol, for the AWP. Very interesting to see Paz not wielding it.
And Yugi late buy. He had the money for the AWP, but he actually went for the AK instead very late, so maybe looking for a faster approach here for Optic.
I was about to say, the fact that he hasn't gone for the AWP could mean a fast outside smokes towards a wrap down secret stairs towards the B side. Could also mean they go for a flash through the smokes into garage and try to split through a main. 2 strats could definitely work, actually. So all with the smokes towards outside. Yugi is lonesome, though. They're not going to go for a faster set play down the secret stairs. The remaining players from Optic waiting in the lobby, outside ramp, outside hut, as maybe they wait patiently to see if Yugi can find an exit or an entry frag in towards the B side. It's going to be Paz here and is lonesome towards the long door. Stairs! Ooh, both players getting tagged up early.
The ramp push does come in the meantime, so Optic gain more map control here to play with. They can split B to regroup up with Yugi, or they can run back to lobby and try and catch maybe some aggressive Space Soldiers players. Instead, it's the B site, and Gade's already opened up. Despate with his back turned, and Paz wishing his was too, because Config's ripped his head off. Xantara's the only man to find a kill here for the CT side, but he'll need more than 1. His team are not in the correct positions right now. Engine does rotate up to catch a Yugi on the late lurk to split down through vent. So nice awareness there from Space Soldiers, but they're still only in a 3-on-3. The bomb plant has come through, and Xantares was late on the door opening, so he won't be able to stop that plant from going down, but he will be able to follow up to Cajun. A big kill there, traded swiftly by Config, and with both players towards his back box, Space Soldiers don't exactly know where they are. Config's dead. They have no idea that Gade's still here, so they run in with their back turn. Gade plays the trigger discipline. He is playing this wonderfully right now. Engine, no idea, and there's the shot. Late coming through, Gade gets the kill, and now it's the 1v1. Major, he had his back turned. They had no idea where Gade was. They must have thought he was in the door.
Playing 4D chess, it seems, towards the B-bomb site. Waited so patiently for the right time to strike. And he claims his prize, the 6-0 lead now for Optic going forward into round number 7. Space Soldiers still nullified into their CT half defense, unable just to muster up even 1 round so far. This bodes so badly going into the second half as well. Already 6 rounds from Optic. We can expect to see them to get, 8, 9 rounds here on their T side unless Space Soldiers have a crazy half going forward. But it's unlikely to see in this one. It's just going to be the quasi-buy backed up with pistols and Kevlar. 1 flashbang from Major, so maybe he can deploy that towards ramp and flash Despe through towards lobby. But apart from that, a bare bones buy, as we should be seeing 7-0 for Optic.
He has done exactly that, though. Despe is in the radio room, so he's pushed up very far. Gade needs to be careful, as does Cajun right now. Some good map control for Space Soldiers, but Optic are looking to collapse onto this A-bomb site, so he's not really going to be tried and tested here. If Cajun can find the push up. Look at this bomb, though. It's wrapping in through the heaven. Usually dangerous, but up against pistols, Space Soldiers have given up outside. They're not contesting it at all, so they actually have no information right now. They need to be aware of the fact that Optic are playing so slowly, and Paz finally going to start off. Despe's push earlier on the ramp results in a kill as well, but he's going to pull his knife out and get blindsided by Cajun. Optic trying to pull this back bit by bit, and Cajun's going to double down, defending the AK dropped in the lobby. Eventually he falls, but in the meantime, Optic still have 2 players up.
2 versus 1. Engine in towards A main, flashes towards outside garage, going to be met by the AWP from Yugi. 7-0. as we go into round number 8. We are going to be seeing the buy come up from Space Soldiers. Will they deploy the double up setup for Paz and Major? As he's thinking about it, but eventually just going to go and conclude with the M4 buy. So 4 M4s, AWP for Major. And of course now the cash for Optic just booming. 9,000 for Config, 7,000 for Gate as well. So not only do Space Soldiers need to win one round of the board to get some confidence in this matchup, they need to win many more than that to break the economy for Optic and force out these ecos.
And when you have an emotional team into a map like Nuke, it actually can sometimes hurt you to start on the CT side, right? Because if you get like 12-3'd on CT, you almost think the game's over. But if you get 12-3'd on T, you go, okay, win pistol and this game's still on. That's a normal half. That's nothing too crazy. So Space Soldiers starting on the preferred side, in ways, actually hurts them. If they get 12-3'd here, they're going to be so tilted going into that second half. It may be near impossible to pull the comeback. We've got to see them start off now, as you said, and they're looking for the A split for Optic coming in through main. Nice drop from Snappy. He's going to find that opening kill, and Gage joining him as well. Cage is splitting in through the squeaky door, but actually kills coming through for Space Soldiers. Finally in a good position. A 4-on-2 with Engine pushing towards the lobby as well, so further map control taken by the Turks. But will they hold on to the round? Cajun catching a rotate, and Yugi looking to do the same. There it is, in the blink of an eye, we're back down to a 2-on-2.
Oh, this kill's so impactful as well from Yugi. From a 4 versus 2 Hugo. And now 50 seconds left. It's the 1 versus 2. Major, no defuse kit, just the HU grenade to work with as well. With a mammoth task of finding both Cajun and Yugi. Potentially before the bomb can be planted as well.
And they're just holding on. There's just no need to move here for Optic. They don't need to force a kill. They don't need to plant. They've got the time to play with. But Major predicts the angle. Cajun's been there before, so he takes him down. Yugi repositions into the same spot. Throws out the Molotov as well, at least giving away the fact that he's on the A site, but the Molly misses, so that's actually really good for Major, and it throws a bit of a question mark, a seed of doubt to the head of Yugi as this wrap comes through for Major. He is ready. He's 400 IQ, but the vent gets broken and Yugi gets tagged. Now Yugi knows he's on B. He can force the plant on the upper site, and he has plenty of time to get into his post-plant position.
Major shot through the vent, only going to be dealing 84 points of damage, and now Yugi has the angle towards heaven. Has the AWP, remember, 1 shot, 1 frag as Major, clearing out towards Hot, not clearing towards Squeaky. Oh. It's the fast quick scope from Yugi to secure the 8th round. Another buy round got in the favor of the Danes as it was a 4 versus 2 there, Hugo. And still, Cajun, especially as Yugi as well with those pivotal kills, grant Optic the 8th. And as a bare minimum now, they're going to gain 8 rounds, so that's already the half won for Optic. The Danes are looking on fire for a swift, fast 2-0.
Yeah, and as you predicted coming to this game, Yugi having massive impact on the AWP of Nuke. Not known for its AWPing prowess on the T side always, but he's 11-4 right now, topping the board for his team. And looking fantastic while doing so, winning that clutch. Space Soldiers down on pistols as Optic split towards the outside pretty early on, sorry. Players on the top of Silo as well, just to cover on the edge of the smoke, making sure Space Soldiers aren't playing aggressively, but Xantares looks close towards the secret, grabs one, damage done into a second, and he finishes off the kill to Config. Snappy's even dinked. If he runs up here, he might find a third, and Xantares has made this round a possibility. The pistols do reign supreme for now, and Yugi pulls out his. 1 frag to Xantares, but the amount of damage he took in that engagement has put him down to 20 HP. Can't follow up with the AWP, and Engine will silence him. Space Soldiers finally win a round, and on pistols it is as well, so they're going to have a lot of money moving forward for this.
The reason for that obviously is when you have a half bar, you've already got $2,000, $3,000 in your bank balance. You then win that round with the pistols, so you get the $3,500 round win bonus, plus the cash you had before. That's already $6,000. And then obviously you pick up the guns off of the corpses of Optic. So that's why we see, you know, Engine nearly $7,000, Major nearly $4,000 because of that exact scenario. But up at the ante here is Optic as they charge towards May, but it's only 1 for Xantares, but it's 2 for Config as the double entry towards his A site again and again, time and time again. There's just nothing here for Space Soldiers where they play setups to aid their teammates. They always go 1 for 1. It's just not good enough here for the CT side. Yeah,
well, Config's aggression on the CT side of Inferno certainly gotten caught out in a lot of situations. It's a T side where he's just been having so much impact in both maps. Again, the double opener, and he even triples it up as Paz won't check the corner after mollying it. That's why you sometimes have to wait after you throw down a molly. Despe now trying to do the damage, and the stand-in for the team does find 2 kills. So maybe this round's a reality. Major stuck the bomb. He's got a kit to play with. It's actually a tap, but it won't matter because Cajun is dead, and the defuse can come in just with seconds remaining. Space Soldiers, they don't get reset snots. That's so important. They keep money. And while they only have 2 players standing, it's still enough to buy.
It is indeed. If that was the reset, That could have been the final nail in the coffin here for Space Soldiers. If we did see, you know, a 10-1 scoreline, but thankfully they brought it back. So, 8-2. In terms of money as well for Optic, they've only got really one more strong buy left in them before the eco's drawn out. So Space Soldiers could get a 2-for-1 deal here on this round. What do they have to bring them forward? AWP for Major once again. Going to be AWPing towards Ram. So the interesting thing is, Space Soldiers put rifles towards mid, or actually lack of really because Zentaris plays alone towards A main. Paz plays outside the garage, outside A main as well towards the blue boxes. But they lack that presence of an AWP to hold these angles, you know, the cross between red, the jump in towards their main, for example, on silo. They play so passive with the rifles, it just gives up so much room for Optic to work with.
One thing that I've liked that Optic have done is they've thrown those outside smokes pretty much every single round, even when they've not committed to them. You know, they've gone for A main splits, or they've just sent Yugi on his own down towards B. Whatever they do, they always go for the smokes. That just, it's similar to breaking the windows, right, on A. It adds a sense of doubt to Space Soldiers. Every single round, they have to be scared of this B split. Major has to be scared that he could be flanked at any moment. So you can see, Space Soldiers need presence down on B. They give up yard, they take the halls down lower, and while it does result in a frag, this can sometimes be complicated because it gives up the control towards A. Zentaris rotating back up gets caught, and in the meantime, because Space Soldiers have such little map control up on the upper side of the map, they lose ramp. They will win the gunfights at least to make it work, so Engine dropping Cage and B now leaves us in a 1-on-3 for Snappy.
1 versus 3, as you said. No smoke, no Molotov here for the single Dane, but he has got the double flashbang set up if he wants to flash, B to peek potentially. Major with the AWP rotates in through ramp, comes into lobby, holding the peek through push, in it towards the lobby from the Dane, but it's dead. First shot missed, second shot connects, now 1 versus 2.
Major has got the CZ out, but Snappy's going to win the duel. 5 HP left, he can't afford to be wallbanged, and he's just going to hide here, confidence and so, as Paz taps the bomb, Snappy's going to run round it. He was in a really awkward spot there. He had to do that because the issue is if you don't run through that, you're hiding in the corner and the Molotov's going to block you off so you can't exit the door. Such low HP and a nice attempt nonetheless. 2 kills. And even though he doesn't win the round slots, he's taking money away from Space Soldiers. You can see, yes, they can buy, but that just means the second the Optic win a round, Space Soldiers have no more money.
Yeah. The sense of the reset looming over their heads continuously. That's into round number 12 then. Another buy coming up from Optic. They got the bomb plant down, and that's a massive amount of cash to have into your economy. Even though they lack the utility, you know, you only see grenades onto 2 players distinctly. They have the Glittle as well for Gage, so in terms of firepower, it's not the best. But let's see if they can do stuff lacking the firepower, if they use the numbers instead. And there you have it. Trades going back and forth in the advantage of Optic again. Aggression though towards Ram as Despe walks into the crosshair from Snappy. A 4 versus 2 here, Hugo. This could be the reset we were looking for.
Yeah, just such fast pace from Optic, so much confidence on these duels, and as you said, the numbers game working out wonderfully. Snappy's not even caught on that rotate, and it means there's more time now for Optic to hold on. Flash through from Snappy, and Paz will win the duel, so there we go. Space Soldiers now going to consider this retake, but they need to win the next gunfight. They lose a man here, it's left to the clutch, and there it is. Major alone, already going to tuck tail and run away, because that round is over. But will Config allow him? Will Yugi allow him? It's a no. Optic won't even let the gun be saved, and so no AWP for Space Soldiers carried forward. They might be able to rebuy one here for Major, but he's also going to probably want to drop over some weapons. Space Soldiers, they are getting torn limb from limb snods, and I can't say, given the way Inferno went, that I am too surprised.
It's true. Definitely carry forward what they had on Inferno here onto Nuke. As it is the 9-3 scoreline going into round number 13. Reset now for Space Soldiers. So you just see 2 M4s, 1 UMV for Paz, CZs for Despe and Major. If they lose this one, it's 10-3, then an eco from Space Soldiers, so maybe 11-3. It's not looking good here for the Turks, but it's looking brilliant here from the Danes. 2 MAC-10s to farm up the cash here versus the Force buy. Will they be successful once again?
Apparently so. Already Config again opening up. He's been so good on this T side. 2 kills to the A site. It was Cajun on Inferno, it's Config on Nuke, and Optic Gaming are having no issues with shutting down this CT team. Despe does find 1, but small consolation. You got a MAC-10, buddy. You'd rather that pistol. And Space Soldiers again. Probably just going to look for the save, or at least for exits here at this point. It's a situation where you go, you know, what are we even saving? A UMP and a MAC-10? Like, it's not exactly a lifesaver. But Optic, double digits found in the first half. 10 rounds on the board after this, and Config's even looking for more. He's not happy with 2. He wants a 3rd as well. And Despe may be getting caught outside here by Gade. This could be a frag, at least for Space Soldiers, although the range of the MAC-10, that's not going to work out.
slap in the face delivered to Despi. Trying to get a consolation exit frag, but not versus Gade today. Not in the form that Optic are in right now. Double digits here for the Danish roster as they get to 10-3 advantage. 7-round deficit now for Space Soldiers. This is going to be the eco. Doesn't get any better here. There's no lights at the end of the tunnel, as this might be the final map for Space Soldiers. The winner of this obviously goes into the quarterfinals. They have a chance to play for the semi-finals, I believe, as well if they go into the upper bracket best of 3 that's determined later on today. I imagine it's the winner of this plus the loser of the game of the mainstream currently.
Actually, I think you can only get semis through the upper bracket. Now that I say that, so yeah, just 2 quarterfinalists from this part of the bracket, because of course these guys both lost their games before. They both come off of the back of losses. Obviously, Astralis, Space Soldiers, too liquid, and Gade is going to open up again. Config joining him in this one, and Xantares stuck in the vents is going to have a bit of a struggle versus these roaming Mac 10s. Snappy with another kill. And as quick as you would have liked it, this round seems to be over. It's just Engine. He's just going to get fragged out. And Optic looking like they want to take this half at a 12-3 manner. We have money for Space Soldiers in the last round of the half, but judging by the scoreline, the money clearly hasn't helped them that much.
We will be seeing a buy from Space Soldiers in the last round. No op for Major. Just going to be the 5 rifle setup. A setup we know Space Soldiers are at home with. So, what do they need to change? We've seen no aggression towards outside. One of the things we see sometimes from Glaive is he'll smoke the cross towards outside, play up close, have device, up towards the back of garage to hold silo push, or go towards the secret stairs and aid him there. Instead, there's just nothing but conservative passive plays towards outside, and right now it always falls in the favor of Optic, because look at all this ground they have here, Hugo. They're in towards outside, they've killed the outside player, they can go in towards under heaven, they can lurk behind ramp, and this just makes things so awkward for Space Soldiers.
I mean, it's not even just that, they're winning every single gunfight. It's like Space Soldiers have never had this man advantage at the start of the round. Optic have always found like 1 or 2 entries instantly, and that puts Space Soldiers in such a compromising position. Gade as well, even trying to catch this rotate from Paz. You can't afford to peek out here. He'll walk to his death. And there it is. Space Soldier's got 1 kill to try and equalize it, but it's going to be falling apart. Apparently not. Xantares still keeping this round in check. But they do have a big task ahead of them. Luckily, both players on the A bomb site, and that's exactly where Optic want to walk. They might not expect this close position from Engine. Although they check it, he misses his shot, and Config, of course, cleans it up. Cajun joins the party, and that will be a 12-3 half for Optic. Could you want any more than that?
Hard to see any real chance here for Space Soldiers now. They're going to be on the T side, the weakened, harder, more difficult side to find rounds on. Now that we no longer see the rafters towards outside, T side nuke is so one-dimensional now. You smoke towards outside, you either go down the secret stairs, use the smokes in some way of faking towards outside so you can do something towards ramp, do something towards the A site, for example. You can flash through those smokes and try get in towards A main and go for a split towards A.
The scary thing to me is if this Optic lineup continues like this and shows this kind of firepower in every one of their games, combine in some more time for them to get better as a team, get better in strat-wise and prepare more. This team is going to be a very, very scary roster.
Could definitely be stronger than North.
Yeah, right. They have had no time to prepare for this event, like Space Soldiers have, and just off of more of an individual basis, they're destroying them. This is a very impressive start to the event for Optic, and I imagine we're going to see them make a bit of a run here in Dallas. I hope to see them in the playoffs, and that seems to be the case. Already rapid contact being made. Gade going to fall his way down as he's been dinged. Space Soldiers with a bit of damage to kick things off. Maybe a lifeline back into this second half. They're going to need the pistol to do so, and that's an entry frag from Xantares. Trade back from Config, and 1 is not enough. He's learning that. As now Space Soldiers have control of the A site. Is Yugi going to step up with a single frag? And Snappy's crept his way through main, somehow winning the duel to Despe, who had his back turned. Major, even coming in with a rotate, but the early damage done to Gade is now going to come back to haunt him in the 1v2.
Bomb planted towards default. Planted for Major as well in the off angle, so all Major has to do now is not peek until Paz takes contact, but he is still peeking just to try and work out where Gade is. Lands the shots, lands the frags. 12 still for Optic, but now 4 for Space Soldiers as they win the second half pistol. A must win to continue their chances in this tournament as well. If they had lost that, they definitely would have been exiting Dallas prematurely. But now we see then the force buy from Optic, could imagine all 4 or 5 players forcing. Actually, no. disciplined play here from Optic. Typically when we see a very one-sided half, you know, 12-3, 11-4, you know, all 5 players from the losing side would instantly invest, right? They have such a big advantage, they're very confident, they know they can still win it. But no, Yuki still with the conservative, disciplined save, doesn't fully invest into Kevlar to back up the Deagle, and that will secure the AWP for the Optic side into the first buy round. So it's good to see they aren't just getting overzealous here with their current lead. But they are versus 3 SMGs and 2 AKs from Space Soldiers. But what have they got to fight back? Scout, no Kevlar from Config. Gade as well, the CZ alongside of Snappy and Cajun B, who so far did a brilliant best of 3. The reface as well, Major stays completely still and allows for the readjustment of the scope from Config. And now once again the advantage for the Danes.
Oh dear, don't throw away this round, Space Soldiers. I mean, that would just be, oh no, that would be a shame, wouldn't it? Already 2 kills for Config. Look how confident he is. He's 30 HP, he's going for a third. Does eventually wind his way back down towards B, knowing that in a 5-on-3, you don't need to force a kill like this. Even if you only have pistols, you're going to be able to play this trade game as long as you're grouped, and they certainly are towards ramp. Space Soldiers slowing it down now because they know they need to find a pick in response. And looking towards this A site potentially. There's not a lot of defense here, so this could be an opportunity for Space Soldiers to win the round. Retaking can be very difficult when you have this buy for Optic, because not only is there no kit, but there's no utility as well. The shot needs to come out here from Yugi, and he's landed 2 body tags. There's the third, getting the frag, and Snappy stops the bomb in its tracks. It's Cajun on the flank, and everyone showing up here for Optic. They are going to flawlessly take the second round after losing pistol.
Well, we said there was something to get hyped about Space Soldiers into this matchup, but that's pretty much all gone out the window now.
Yep.
Round number 18, 13-4, 7. Oh, they wish it was only a 7-round advantage.
Tack timeout at 13-4. Hello, Optic.
They could be trying to rub salt into the wounds.
Potentially.
Or they can try and work out.
That'd be really edgy, right? In their first tournament.
Yeah,
you want to make enemies?
Well,
no. Oh,
Space Soldiers are lovely. You want to do that?
Yeah. I'm sure they have something to talk about. You know, even with a 13-4 win, you can always improve. You can always have better rounds. Or maybe they're trying to calm down. They just had a pretty frantic second round win that may even solidify their spot in the playoffs. So, yeah, just chill out, take a breather, take a moment. Make sure you got your buy right. You know exactly what you're doing with this one. You don't want to throw this away. Just take a sec, and they've done exactly that. 30 of them, in fact. 13-4 now, Space Soldiers forcing probably till the game's over.
You would imagine so at this point. Once the 14-4 down, yeah, you have to force once again. So dire constraints around Space Soldiers as they don't have much cash to work with. And Config, though, confident as ever, peeks towards outside, gets 1 frag, but Engine with the Deagle finds another on it to Yugi. So it is going to be the 4 versus 4. And of course, Config still peeking into Space Soldiers, has the M4, and has the advantage as well. Surprising as well, Hugo. We've seen a lot of silenced M4s here at this tournament. Yeah,
a bit of a rise in that maybe. I wonder why that is, to be honest, because up until this point, don't really see too many. Does double down towards the outside, and Gade gets tagged up. So there's still an opportunity here in this round. It's definitely not a done deal. Considering the fact that Optic have lost a couple of players in the process, opens up parts of the map. They want to more focus on defending the sites, not quite the exteriors like yard or ramp. So Space Soldiers can gain some map control in this part, at least, as both players group up. Definitely how you want to play this. You don't want to be split if you're Space Soldiers. And looking towards this B bomb site as well, trying to work their way down. Vents being broken open. Is there anyone here? Who knows? The map sucks. There is Snappy and Major. He might come up behind him. There it is. A bit of a surprise shot to the back of the chest. Back of the chest? That doesn't really work. And Gade being low as well. This is a good opportunity for the Turkish.
Cajun. Peek comes up from Major. Poorly timed. Oh, could have been the knife.
No.
Could have been something special, but just wasn't the job done. Cheeky little love tap as well from Gade to Config. You can see they're definitely happy with the success they've had so far. The 2-0 versus NIP yesterday. Now what's shaping up to be a very, very swift 2-0 versus Space Soldiers. This Optic team has hit the ground running so far with incredible form into this tournament. Just the loss versus Astralis, which some people consider to be the best team in the world right now in current form. But anyway, though, 10-round advantage, 14-4. Optic now 2 away from the quarterfinals.
And as well, I won't look too deeply into this single map, as I didn't look too deeply into their 16-3 versus Astralis. This shows that their loss there doesn't mean that they just suck at Nuke. It was just Astralis just playing out of their mind. As Optic are here, of course, but it shows this pocket pick of Nuke is always useful to have, because Space Soldiers look lost. They just don't look prepared for this. And of course, having to play with a stand-in is part of that. But yeah, this is certainly awkward for Space Soldiers. Only 2 rounds away from elimination here in Dallas, and Optic are looking to have it done pretty quickly. Gade running down ramp, does not want to overextend there, does not want to allow them to take him down. Instead, he wants to get a pick on the lower part of B, but he does walk forward to his death. Yugi with the AWP firing off on all cylinders as well. Double kill from him, and Config finds the same. Only Paz left up, and while he may know a couple of positions to these CT sides, he's so low, Config's going to take the bite out of him for a 3rd frag in the round. Optic are 1 round away, Snods. This is probably over.
Yeah, Cajun being the last one. Config now on this one. 22 frags so far. As it may actually be 16-4, 16-4 on both maps, if Optic take this one. But potential for the last round to be played out now. Space Soldier is going to be wielding just the Galil for Despy. 2 Deagles for Paz and Engine. 2 CZs for Major and Xantares. They have Kevlar, good utility, but it seems like a fast play to get the job done quick.
Ooh, and Xantares will open up, so there's an opportunity here presented. Paz catches Config trying to rotate down from the lower stairs towards main, and Engine's going to follow up. These Deags having great effect from Space Soldiers, but will they be able to drag them through and keep them in Dallas? Gade says no. He finds Despe coming out of the hut, and the double peek from Space Soldiers. They don't force the plant. Optic can afford to slow down here, try and isolate the kills that they know of the positions of Space Soldiers. Plant finally coming in, so Yugi takes the initiative to drop Engine, knowing he doesn't have a teammate there to trade, and Paz being outside means that Yugi might be able to turn this into a 2-on-1, but a shot missed, and Paz given a second chance at life. He doesn't want to overextend here. Gade, where's he going? He's wrapping all the way back round towards lobby. Where are Optic looking to head here? Do they think it's B?
I think they do. I imagine they think the bomb's gone down vent.
Oh no, this is a big mistake.
They could just save around this potentially, once the realization sits in. Obviously, Config can buy, Snappy can't, so Yugi can drop for him. Cajun B can buy himself. So actually, if they save these 2 weapons, they can fully buy in the next one. Space Soldiers, yeah, are going to be able to do one better than Inferno, as they make it 15-5, as Optic save for round number 21.
That's really awkward. I'm wondering how that happened. The bomb came out through hut, so maybe it passed past the silo and no one saw it. I just assume the fact that Yugi jumped into main was because they heard the bomb plant go down, right? Or at least be faked. So he knew that one player in the site would therefore have a bomb in his hands and couldn't get the trade if he peeked in through main.
Yeah, well, Gade wasn't peeking it. They knew the bomb was there when he spotted it. Could have gone down vent, as Yugi didn't see him towards their main, as you said. So
yeah,
they were paranoid about the split down B. Instead, though, because they saved, you can now see the 4-buy come to fruition for Optic. AWP for Yugi, 4 rifles as well for the CT side of good utility to back it up.
Despe.
Yep, smokes towards outside from Space Soldiers.
He has no gun.
Oh.
There you go. Back in spawn. It's fine.
Yeah, didn't want to run back. Had to do the smoke earlier, I imagine. Maybe they're going to try and have a lurk player?
Ooh. Bit of a trade up on ramp, though. Cajun's kind of cornered here at the top, but his nade does get the kill to Xantares after he finds a bit of damage off the rifle. That's pretty good, to be fair. Finding a 2 for 2 will favour Space Soldiers, but given the fact that Optic lost to the first man and Cajun was cornered in this position telegraphed to Space Soldiers, I'd say Optic got out of that one pretty well. And that's been the way across this entire map, it seems. Ooh.
Oh, frags as well, still going in the favour of Optic. Major did get a nice shot there earlier towards outside, though, so it makes it into the even playing field of the 2 versus 2. Minute left on the clock now for Space Soldiers to work with, so the bomb could maybe try slither down ramp. But it's Yugi coming in from behind, slowly but surely. Spots the gun barrel of the AK from Despy, and now makes this 2 versus 1. Mage with his knife out, going to be walking into impending doom, or not. Just going to be gloom instead for Space Soldiers. 16-5, they managed to get one more round than they did on Inferno, but still, very, very swift 2-0, Hugo.
That's what I call improvements, Nods.
There you go, 1 round.
Yeah, well, that's a bit of a shame for Space Soldiers again, coming into this event with a stand-in. They are going to be eliminated. I wouldn't say it's a massive surprise on paper looking at this game, but there were always question marks on the new Optic roster. They seem to have absolved all questions for me. This is looking like a very good squad, and if they can continue in good form, who knows what they could achieve here in Dallas.
Yeah, they look very good right now. Obviously, they are versus the stand-in, not quite full potential Space Soldiers, so we have to take this result with a pinch of salt. The NIP win, though, is the one where you can actually back them up behind that one. That's a great win for themselves. And that confidence carried over from yesterday, here today, and now going into the arena and stadium tomorrow, is still going to be a triple flush of continuing that confidence and continuing this form.
That was such a sick play from Gade, though. Look at Major. He drops here and he has his back turned, so they obviously had no idea where he was, or they assumed that he was back in the door.
Yeah, maybe someone called, you know, I'm sticking it as he dropped down or as he got shot, so we didn't hear where the gun came from. Imagine it was towards the door. Didn't quite work out for them in that regard.
Pretty frantic map, though. A lot of highlights for Optic, especially on that of Inferno. This map, it seemed like everyone was kind of just fragging across the board. Config with 22, Yugi with 20, Cajun sitting a little bit behind with 17, but it's not like anyone had to go crazy in that one. They all kind of looked a little more solid, weren't relying on 30 kills in 20 rounds or anything from one player.
Yeah, I know. I mean, breakout performance from Optic here at this event. Obviously, new roster. We thought, okay, they bring in Snappy now. Former Stanislaw. Will it take time for this roster to develop and evolve into, you know, a top 20, top 15, top 10 team?
Yeah.
It seems unlikely as they're actually just in the top 8 already in this event.
And my question, Mark, coming into this this team was, you know, okay, right, we see Snappy on this team, but Snappy, like, he never really led Heroic to anything consistent, or like, you know, they had a couple of tournament runs quite deep. Like we saw IEM Katowice 2016, they got to the semis and stuff like that, but we never really saw any continual success. And so I was wondering, you know, is Snappy the right call for this team? Is he going to be able to lead it? With the amount of firepower they're showing and Snappy being able to somehow command all this together, it's looking very good for them right now.
I think it's about respect, right?
Yeah.
Would Config respect an IGL like Stanislaw? You know, it's unknown, right? However, though, would Config respect one of his own, a Danish in-game leader, maybe a player he looked up to on his rise, you know, from Copenhagen Wolves? You never know. So respect plays a massive part in trying to, you know, discipline your star players. And that was the question mark for me. Would Config, take a backseat in terms of the aggression? Would he still play his own style? Would it be that cocky, confident attitude? And it stayed in the right places, and it's gone in the wrong places. So far, they're looking stellar, perfect.
Well, let's keep our eyes on Optic throughout this tournament, see how far they're going to get in Dallas. But for now, we're done. We're going to be coming back with the next best of 3 of the day, which I think is FaZe Na'Vi here. If that is true,
wrong, yeah.
If that
Too
is
good
true,
to be true for the beach
yeah,
team.
right. I'm holding it in. I'm not letting all my excitement out just in case. But that should be our next game. So be sure to stick around. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
Incendiary out.